Today we are discussing the theory of the chapter reproduction in organism, that is chapter number 1 of 12th NCERT. So before we starting the chapter, let us see the definition of the reproduction first. What is reproduction? We know that what is reproduction. Reproduction is basically the biological process by which an organism multiplies, and when it organism multiplied gives the birth to the another organisms of the same kind. Say dog to dog, example human beings to human beings. That means the same kind of organism should be produced. So we know that the reproduction is the biological process by which an organism multiply and gives birth to another organism of the same kind, is termed as reproduction. It is important for maintaining diversity and perpetuation of the race, as every individual has a limited lifespan, and this lifespan should be varied from one organism to the another organism. Now what is lifespan? The lifespan is the period from the birth to the death of an organism is called as lifespan. It should be vary from organism to organism. Now it is required. Why the process of the reproduction is required? The process of the reproduction should be required for the continuity of the gene pool, and also to get the genetic variations which get inherited to the offspring, because we know that reproduction is the process in which the organism give birth to young ones which is similar to itself, and due to this the gene should be transferred from the parents to the offspring. Sometimes the sexual reproduction leads to the variations in the offspring. So that is the reproduction. That is the reproduction. We know what is reproduction. So that is the basics of the reproduction. Now we know that we aware the term from the reproduction. Now reproduction is basically the two types. One is the asexual reproduction and one is the sexual reproduction. So let us see, first of all, we know that the types of reproduction, and it is first case is the asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction is the process of generating offspring from a single parent. Because single parent is involved in reproduction, so it is also called as uniparental. Because the single parent is involved in the reproduction, so it is also called the uniparental type. Each individual is capable to producing the offspring, or each individual is capable of multiplying. It does not lead to the genetic variation. Asexual reproduction does not lead to produce the genetic variations in their offsprings. It is simple and fast process as compared to the sexual reproduction. The process of asexual reproduction is the simple and it is a fast process because it does not involve the sequential stages in between them. It is common in the microorganism. Where it is observed? It is observed in the microorganism, unicellular organism, simple plants and the simple animals, where the process of the asexual reproduction should be observed. So it is common in the microorganism, unicellular organism, and it is observed in the simple plants and the simple animals. Here we can discuss the asexual reproduction, and the various methods involved in the asexual reproduction are, first of all, we can discuss here the first method of the asexual reproduction, that is the binary fission. What is binary fission? It is a common method of replication of the unicellular organisms like the Monera and the Protista. In what will occur in the binary fission? We know that the organism or the cell divided into two halves. So why it is called as binary fission? Because the cell divided into two halves, or the organism should be divided into the two organisms. Parent cell should be divided into the two daughter cells. So we can say that the cells divided into two halves and multiplies. First, the nucleus divides. What will happen in the binary fission? First of all, the nucleus divided and then followed by the cytoplasm. The daughter cells are genetically identical as they are formed after mitotic division. The daughter cells are genetically identical because they are produced as a result of the asexual reproduction, in which only a single parent is involved in it. So the offspring produced or the daughter cell are exactly identical to the parent cell because they are genetically identical, because they are produced from a single parent. So they are called as the binary fission, in which the parent cell is break up into the two daughter amoeba. It is seen in the amoeba where we've seen the case of the binary fission. Now we have to discuss another type of the asexual reproduction, and that is the budding. Budding is seen in the yeast and in the hydra when buds are formed due to the unequal division. These buds are formed due to the unequal division, and they buds remain attached to the parent cell or parent organism. When the buds get matured, it get detached or it gets separated from the parent plant body and develop into the new organism. This new organism is called the yeast, or whether it is called hydra. So buds are formed due to the unequal division. These buds remain attached to the parent plant body. When the buds get matured, it get detached or separated from the parent body, and it develop into the new organism. So example of the budding is seen in the yeast and is the hydra, where we see the budding. Next method is fragmentation. Fragmentation is seen in the algae and it is also observed in the fungi. What is fragmentation? In fragmentation, we know that the parent body should be break into the fragments. When the parent body is break, and it develop into the pieces and fragments, and each fragment develop into the new organism. So what will occur in the fragmentation? Fragmentation is the process in which the parent body should be break into the fragments, and each fragment having the capability to producing a new organism. Then such type of the method of reproduction is the fragmentation. It is commonly observed in the algae like the Spirogyra, like the Eulothrix, and in fungi it is observed in the Rhizopus. So it is an example: Spirogyra, Eulothrix and Rhizopus. Now let us see another mode of asexual reproduction, that is the spore formation. Asexual spore formation take place in a special structure in various algae, fungi. In this asexual spore formation take place in a special structure in algae and fungi, and this formation should be take place under the unfavorable conditions. These spores may be motile or non-motile. So the spores formed in a special structure is motile or it is non-motile structures. They develop into a new individual when the favorable conditions are written. So under the unfavorable condition, this form the spores, and when the favorable condition returns, they germinate to form a new organism. So example of such type of method is amoeba. Amoeba forms a three-layered structure during the unfavorable condition, and when it forms a three-layered structure, it is called cyst, and this cyst formation should known as incystation. So incystation is basically the formation of a three-layered cyst in amoeba during the unfavorable condition, that is known as incystation. So to escape the unfavorable condition, when conditions are favorable, the cyst get burst, and when the cyst get burst, the spores are released into the environment and form this. When conditions are favorable, they undergo the multiple fission. The cyst form undergoes the multiple fission, and when it goes the multiple fission, it forms many pseudopodiospores. When many pseudopodiospores are formed and the cyst get burst, the spores are released and they form the multiple amoeba. So you know what is the process in amoeba. Amoeba during the unfavorable conditions, it forms a three-layered structure. It is known as incystation. But during the favorable conditions, what will happen? During the favorable conditions, the amoeba undergoes the multiple fission in the cyst. Due to this, pseudopodiospores are formed, and when the cyst get burst, the spores are released and they form multiple amoeba. Example of this is Conidia in Penicillium and Gemmules in sponges. Next mode of asexual reproduction in plant is it is a vegetative propagation in the plants. So let us see the vegetative parts, means the any part of the plant. So first of all, it is vegetative propagation in plants. It is the vegetative propagule structure is the leaf buds. It is seen in the bryophyllum. Bulbil is seen in the, which is a vegetative structure which is seen in the agave plant. Rhizome is seen in the ginger and banana. Offset is a vegetative propagule structure is seen in water hyacinth and also known as the Eichhornia plant. It is also known as the terror of Bengal. This plant have the especially, this is an aquatic weed plants. This plant was introduced in India for its beautiful flowers, shape of the leaves. So this plant is spreading very fast or very tremendously in water bodies. They should be multiply very fast, and when it multiply very fast, it should be spread all over the water bodies. This should drains the oxygen from the waters, and when it drains the oxygen from the water, there will be the lack of the oxygen in the water bodies. This lead to the death of the aquatic organism like the fishes. So this is the important one. Many time examination comes from this point, and all the rest point which is the vegetative propagule structures are important one and asked many time in the NEET examination questions. Germinating eye bud is seen in the potato, which is also act as a vegetative propagule structure. Type of the reproduction is the sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction is first of all is seen in the higher plants and higher animal. So it will be observed in the higher plants and higher animal. Now what is sexual reproduction? We know sexual reproduction, it is the process where two opposite gametes should be required. One gamete is the male gamete and another gamete is the female gamete. Both the gametes are fused to form an offspring. Both the gametes are fused. Both gametes are involved in it. Involvement of the opposite sexes. One is the male gamete and another is the female gamete. So there will be the involvement of the both the sexes. So why it is called as the biparental? Biparental, because two parents are involved in the reproduction, so it is the biparental. So it is a biparental because both parents of the opposite sexes are involved in the process of the reproduction to produce a new offspring. So it is the biparental. Now it is a complex and fast process. This process is very complex and very fast. Process is very complex and slow process as compared to the asexual reproduction, whereas the asexual reproduction is the simple and fast process, and it is a complex and slow process. Why it is called a slow process? Because it involves the stages like the pre-fertilization events, fertilization, post-fertilization should be occur. There will be the involvement of the species. There will be the divisions should be occur, mitosis, meiosis, etc. So it is a complex and the slow process. Plants show a distinct reproductive phases. Plants show a distinct reproductive phases. For example, some plants are the annual plants which completed their life cycle from germination to maturation, or annual plant in a 1 year, or in a 2 years biennials, or more than 2 years it is perennial plants. So we can classify the plants where it is annual, biennial or perennial plants. Example of this is bamboo flowers. Flowers only once in their lifetime. They produce flowers only once, and it produces flowers in approximately 50 to 100 years, that they produce flowering in approximately 50 to 100 years. Neela Kurenji, which is also known as Strobilanthes kunthiana. Neela Kurenji, Strobilanthes kunthiana. They produce flowers once in their life, and it is in flowers once in 12 years. They produce flowering in 12 years. So both the point is important for the NEET examination, because many times our questions are asked from this topic that the flowering in bamboo should be commonly observed during which period. It is in 50 to 100 years, and Strobilanthes kunthiana flowering is observed in 12 years. So both the points are important for the NEET examination, because the many times questions comes from this topic. Now we know that animals also reproduces sexually at the certain stages of their life. Example, many birds lay eggs seasonally. Placental animals show the cyclical changes during their reproductive phase. Example, oostrous cycle is seen in the non-primates animals like the cows, sheep, dogs, tiger, etc. Whereas the menstrual cycle should be observed in the primates. Example, man, human beings, monkeys, etc. Where the menstrual cycle should be observed in the primates, in human females, monkeys, etc. Male and female reproductive structures can be present on the same plant or animal. The male or female reproductive structure should be present on the same plant or animal. When it is present on the same plant or animal, both the gametes should be present on the same plant or animal, then the condition is called the bisexual. But if the male and female gametes should be present on the different plant or animal, the condition is termed as unisexual condition. So you know the condition, what is bisexual and unisexual condition. Bisexual is the condition in which both the gametes should be present on the same plant or the same animal. But unisexual is the condition when it is present on the different plant or the different animal. That means each plant or each animal bearing only one gamete. So we can say that different plant or different animal should having the different male and female gametes. So the condition is termed as unisexual. Now bisexual condition is same as the homothelic, and it is also called the monoecious condition. Remember, the homothelic condition is representing the plant, whereas the monoecious conditions represent to the plant. Here unisexual condition is same as the heterothelic condition and as the dioecious condition. Here heterothelic condition is representing for the plant and dioecious conditions is representing for the animal. That point should be very important for the NEET examination, that what is bisexual, what is unisexual, which is called the bisexual and which is the unisexual. And another one is the examples of the oostrous cycle, and the menstrual cycle is the important one for the NEET examination. Now moving to the next topic of the sexual reproduction, that is monoecious plant. Which plant should represent to the monoecious plant, and its example is the coconut, cucurbita and chara, where we can say that the plant is monoecious. Now which plant is dioecious plant? Dioecious plant should represent to the papaya, date palm and marchantia, where we can observe the male gamete and female gamete should be present on the different plant, not on the same plant. So it is the dioecious plant, and here the male and female gamete should be present on the same plant. Example, coconut, cucurbit, chara. Dioecious plant where the male and female gamete should be present on the separated plant. Example of it is papaya, date palm and marchantia. Now bisexual flower. Bisexual flower is seen in the, where bisexual flower should be seen? Bisexual flower should be seen in the sweet potato, sweet pea and hibiscus. Represent an example of the bisexual flower. Where we can find the unisexual flower? Unisexual flower should be observed in the papaya, watermelon, coconut, maize, where we can observe the unisexual flower. Now remember the monoecious or hermaphrodite animals. Which animal is called the monoecious or hermaphrodite animal? It is in earthworm, leeches or sponges, where we can observe the hermaphrodite or monoecious animal. That means the male and female should be present on the same organism. So it is hermaphrodite. Example of this is earthworm, leeches and sponges. Dioecious animal where the male and female sexes should be separated on the different individual, then it is the dioecious animals. And example of the dioecious animal is the cockroach, and all the higher animals come under this category. This all points are very important for the NEET examination. Many questions are asked from this topics because these are mainly related with the example. There are so many examples, and this all examples should be asked previously in the NEET examination. So while you studying, you should be focused on all that point, because that is very important for the NEET examination. Now let us discuss the events of the sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction can be divided into the three main events. First event is the pre-fertilization, second event is the fertilization, and third event is the post-fertilization. These are the sequences of the events of the sexual reproduction in both category, in both the higher plants and both the higher animal. First category of the sexual reproduction events is the pre-fertilization is the first, second is the fertilization, and third one is the post-fertilization events. So let us discuss first events of the sexual reproduction, that is the pre-fertilization events. The pre-fertilization events are the events which occur before the fertilization. So what are the events occurs before the fertilization? It is first of all gametogenesis. Gametogenesis means the formation of the gamete. In male organism, male gamete is formed, and in female organism, female gamete is formed. So the formation of the gamete formation is known as gametogenesis. And if we know that the gamete form, it is isogametes or homogametes. Now what do you mean by the terms isogametes or homogametes? Isogametes or homogametes are the type of the gametes which are very similar. We can't distinguish between both of them ki which one is the male gamete or which one is the female gamete. We cannot distinguish in between them. So why the gamete is called homogametes? Homo means same and gametes means the same gamete, where we can't distinguish between both the male and female gametes. And example of such type of gamete is seen in the case of the algae. Its example is the cladophora, which is an example of the algae, where we can find the isogametes or the homogametes. Now we can discuss the another term, heterogametes. Heterogametes is just opposite to the homogametes. Homogametes, gametes similar. Hetero means different or dissimilar gametes. Then we use the term heterogametes because the gametes are dissimilar. So when we observe morphologically, we can observe whether it is male gamete or whether it is the female gamete. We can easily distinguish between both of them because morphologically they are the distinct, and when morphologically they are distinct, we can easily identify which one is the male gamete and which one is the female gamete, because the gametes are dissimilar in the sizes. So such type of the gametes is called as the heterogametes. An example of the heterogametes is seen in an alga, which is a fucus, and it is also seen in the human beings, where we can identify which is the sperm and which is the ovum. So we can easily identify between them. So such type of the gamete is heterogametes, and it is seen in the fucus and human beings. Now male gamete is called, where the gamete should be different. The male gamete is the antherozoid, or it is called the sperm, whereas the female gamete is called the egg, or it is also called as a ovum. So remember, that point is very important for the NEET examination. What is isogametes or homogametes, what is heterogametes, and what are the examples of the isogametes and heterogametes. Now we know that the second method of pre-fertilization event is the first is the gametogenesis, gamete formation. Another method is the gamete transfer, that is also known as the pollination. In most of the organism, the male gamete is the motile and swim. In most of the organism, the male gamete is motile, and when it motile, it swims towards the female gametes. So in both the cases, the male gamete should be the motile and it swims towards the female gametes. Why it move towards the towards the female gamete? To process the process of fertilization. In which plant we can observe that gamete transfer? In algae, fungi, bryophyta, pteridophyta. Requires water as a medium for the movement of the gametes. Due to this, the process of the fertilization should occur in that plants, and it is in algae, fungi, bryophyte and pteridophytes, in which act as a medium for the transfer of the gametes. Water act as a medium in algae, fungi, bryophyte and pteridophyte for the movement of the male gamete towards the female gamete for proceed the process of the fertilization. Whereas in angiosperm, it should occur due to the transfer of the pollen grain. The transfer of pollen grain occur from the anther to the stigma. It is known as pollination. It should occur on the same plant, or it should occur on the different plant of the same species. So it is termed as pollination. So this is all about the gamete transfer, and it is all about the pre-fertilization events, which is the event of the sexual reproduction. Next topic of the events of fertilization is the fertilization. Fertilization, it is also known as the syngamy. Why it is known as syngamy? Because there will be the fusion of the male gamete with the female gamete. Male and female gamete both are fuses. This will also called the syngamy. And after the process of the syngamy, or after the process of the fertilization, when the male and female gamete fuse, then it will form a structure that is called the zygote, and the zygote form is diploid, because the male gamete is haploid and female gamete is haploid. When both the gamete is fused, then it form a zygote, and zygote will be the diploid structure which is formed after the fusion of the male and female gametes. Now the fertilization is further divided into the two types. One is the external fertilization and another is the internal fertilization. Now what is external fertilization? When the process of the fertilization or the process of the syngamy occur outside the body of the female parent, then such type of reproduction is termed as external fertilization. The offspring produced in external fertilization are vulnerable to the predators. The process of external fertilization is seen in members of the algae, fishes and amphibians. These are the most popular examples of the external fertilization, where we can see the phenomena of the external fertilization. Now internal fertilization, just opposite to the external fertilization. Here the process of the fertilization of syngamy occur outside the body of the female organism. Here the name suggests internal fertilization. The process of the fertilization occur inside the body of the female parents, or syngamy occur inside the body of the female parents. Then such type of the process is termed as internal fertilization, and it is commonly observed in all the higher plants and all the higher animals. Its example should belongs to the higher plants and the higher animals. Now we can discuss the last event of the sexual reproduction, that is the post-fertilization events. And post-fertilization, including the first part is the zygote. After fertilization, we know that zygote will be formed as a result of the fertilization. Now, after fertilization, the diploid zygote is formed. The zygote undergo further division and develops into the new organism. This zygote undergo the process of the mitosis. Due to this, it will develop into the new organism. In organism like algae and fungi, the zygote forms a thick wall around itself to resist desiccation and damage, and germinate only after a resting period when favorable conditions are returned. So in organisms like the algae and fungi, the zygote develop a thick wall structure around itself to resist desiccations and damages, and germinate, and after resting period is over whenever the favorable conditions are returns. In organism with haplontic life cycle, the zygote undergo the process of the meiosis. But in which organism? The organism which having the haplontic life cycle, the zygote will undergo the process of the meiosis to form an haploid new organism, to form an haploid spores, and new organism is formed from this haploid spores. So remember, that point is very important for the NEET examination. Haplontic life cycle, the zygote undergo the process of the meiosis. Due to this, the haploid spores are formed, and these haploid spores should develop into the new organisms. So remember, that one is also the important point for the NEET examination. Let us see the another process, that is the embryogenesis. Embryogenesis is basically the development of the embryo. So it is the process of the development of an embryo, and the development of embryo occurs from a zygote. So that process in which the embryo should be developed from a zygote is known as embryogenesis or embryo development. The zygote undergo the process of the cell division and the differentiation. Clear? So that is embryogenesis. Now the animals are two types. One is the oviparous and another is the viviparous. Oviparous is basically the animals which lay down the eggs, or we can also say that it is a egg laying animals. Example of it is reptiles, birds, etc. Viviparous are the organism which give birth to the young ones. Then such type of the organism which give birth to young ones are the viviparous organism. Example, mammals including the human beings. In angiosperm, the zygote develop inside ovule, and ovules develop into the embryo. Clear? In angiosperm, the zygote develop into the ovule and develops into the embryo. After the post-fertilization structure, remember, the ovule will changes into the seed and the ovary will changes into the fruit. So that is very important point for the NEET examination, on which I mark the asterisk. That is very important point for the NEET examination. Now we have seen the phenomena of the parthenogenesis. What is parthenogenesis? Important one for the NEET examination. Parthenogenesis is basically the development of a new organism, but this development of the new organism is without the process of the fertilization, and if the development of the new organism occurs without the fertilization, then it is termed as the parthenogenesis. Example of the parthenogenesis is seen in the honeybees, sterile drones which are haploid, N is equal to 16, and develop from the female gametes. Both honeybees and sterile drones are haploid, and it should be developed from the female gametes. Other examples includes the lizards, turkey. Turkey, which is a bird, is an example of the parthenogenesis, and other examples should include the rotifers. So lizards, turkey and rotifers also belong to the process of the parthenogenesis, or we can say that in that the phenomena of the parthenogenesis is observed. Parthenocarpy is artificially induced in some plants to get the seedless fruits, and that is due to the process of the parthenocarpy. So that is the all our summary of the chapter reproduction in organism. So you should be focused on that point which I have already discussed in that chapter, and be prepared yourself for the NEET examination